Can you hear us in the computer? All right, let's go live. Hello and welcome into the Ride the Wave show, boys. We did it. We started it. We had to go what we like to call at the show Jake Kretzer mode because quarter-inch cable didn't work. So thank you, Justin Kello. Literally just found one. Wouldn't have been able to find one without him. I'm trying to talk quiet because the amazing Jackie Kello is out there, and she decided to give a speech right when we started, or we decided to start right when she was giving a speech. I'll put that one on us. How about you guys? Yeah. But we have an amazing show today. First off, we have somebody that I think, guys, we need to stop delaying his entrance. I think it's time for him to be alive. Never mind. What's Andy telling me? I can't hear you. He's not here yet. Oh, so we're waiting. Okay. Well, we have a jam-packed show for you guys. It's crazy how we started this thing, guys. I mean, what the heck? Well, we got to give a shout out to Andy. Andy got this stuff going. We were definitely ready to go on time until the quarter-inch cables decided to not be ready. All right, so now that we have kind of collected our thoughts, we are at the King's Court here at Huntington High School. It is all Huntington boys. One team from each grade. Was talking to Kello before. It's kind of weird to say Kello because there's so many here. I was talking to Justin before. So what this is, winner gets entered into the SVC King of the Courts. So there is one. We will have Jackie Kello coming up to let us know a little bit more about that. Andy, we ready?
So we're kind of
there. Cool.
We're kind of giving other teams an unfair advantage.
Yeah, they are, but they're all right. But you know, it doesn't matter because everybody here at Huntington is so good, you know, that they're just gonna win anyways. They're like, you know, bring it. Let people see our tape. Still gonna kick some ass. You know who else kicked a lot of ass? A guy that was the 2013 Freshman of the Year in the MAC. A guy that was the 2014 Sixth Man of the Year in the MAC. A guy that won 3 sectional titles. A guy that won the 2012 District Championship and the 2012 Division II Player of the Year, the legendary Jake Kretzer. Jake, how you doing, my man?
Good. You guys hear me okay?
Andy, can you turn him up a little bit? Yeah. Oh, we'll get you coming, Jake. I think it's turned down a little bit in our headphones. Jake, want to say first off, thanks for joining us today, man. I know it's been kind of a long time waiting for us to have you on the show. Glad that we can finally make this work out. I know you're a busy man. First thing I want to ask you, man, is it's tournament time here in Ohio. I'm sure, as you know that as well.
Right.
And you have gone on some crazy tournament runs yourself. What is it like prepping? One thing, prepping for the tournament, but now we're at the stage where you made it to the convo. What's it kind of like locker room-wise, you know, team-wise? Hey, we're in the district finals now. We're in the convo. What's the mindset kind of like for you as a team and what you think a good team is?
I mean, those are the best memories, right? You know, you dream about going and playing at the convo. And for me, you know, growing up, watching teams go play there, you know, every year, it was just something that I wanted to do, right? And so when you finally get the opportunity to go there and play, you know, at the Convocation Center, you're walking, you're kind of pulling around the highway, and then all of a sudden you see it, and it's just like, wow, like, okay, here we go. And you know that it's, you know, you lose and you go home type of situation. And, you know, the goal is to get to the convo, and then the next goal is to play as many games as you can at the convo.
Yeah.
And so you lock it in. Hopefully your coaches are preparing you the best that you can. And you just got to play, you know, stay in your lane, play as a team, play for each other, and got to make shots. That's what it comes down to. People get too caught up in the moment, right? And the backdrops of the combo and these college stadiums are different than high school. And sometimes it takes players time to adjust to shooting there, right?
Yeah.
And so we always used to go to OUC and shoot on the college rims that are sitting on the ground to try to get used to shooting on those hoops. And it's a different beast going down there. So, but it's awesome.
I actually kind of want to go where you said there, where it's like different shooting there than it is in high school, because for one, the basket trajectory is a little different because that's a basket that's coming from the floor up instead of the ceiling down. So it's a little bit different looking at that, and the floor has a little bit more bounce to it than a normal high school floor would. I know my coach, David Shoemaker, he was my high school coach. We would always go to OUC, actually, and practice there because it was pretty similar to how the OU court was.
I think he kind of mentioned that.
Yeah.
It's like, I think people don't realize when they see these games played on boats and seeing these games on ESPN played in these wild places, there's something to that. It's not as easy as people think. You just pick up a ball.
It's
yes,
not just walking on
the
Huntington's
same,
court right here and being like, hey, it's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And then, Jake, I wanted to ask you, too, because I played in a great environment, I would like to say, but I was actually at your Waverly games when you're down winning the district. That environment was insane. I wanted to ask you, a kind of a two-parter, because, one, what was the environment like for you as a player, on the court during that? And two, I feel like that Waverly crowd is something special. Can you kind of talk about them as a fan base as well?
Yeah, our student body, they support the heck out of, all the athletics, basketball, When you go to the combo, most of the community rally around behind that, right? When you guys went, the city of Bainbridge was shut down, right? And it's the same way with Waverly. You're getting the police escort down there. You're getting, you're taking the charter bus down, and everybody wants to be there for it, right? It's a different scene for students, and if they take a student section bus down, that's even better. But we had an amazing student section.
Your guys' student section went to the second deck. They had a student section for this the section down here, and then more students were in the second level up there. It was packed.
Yeah, it was something really special, and that's what when you're there and you hear the crowd roars, you feel that, right? The game, or you feel it the whole time. So our home games at Waverly, phenomenal crowds. That place on our side was packed out every single night. Credit to the Waverly faithful. So
yeah, and I feel like another thing that was kind of big during your guys' run was your senior year when you won the districts was Chillicothe also won the district. So I felt like people, because I went to Chillicothe my freshman year, and it was literally people were going for that game and knew they were staying to watch Waverly, and it wasn't hey, we want Chillicothe to win and not win. It was we want both of these guys to go, and man, did they go. And one thing that was big was your shooting, man. You had a strap. And there was a lot of times in those tournament runs where you just locked in and couldn't be stopped. And then it happened again kind of when you're in college. Can you talk about what happens when you kind of just go in that mode of just man, the bucket is an ocean right now. Give me the ball.
Yeah, those are good nights. But yeah, it's just one of those things, right? They kind of get into this state of unconsciousness, right? That's what people always say. And it's the hoop is so big, you can just shoot it from wherever, fading away, off the dribble, catch and shoot, and it's just, it's just lined up. And I think my 3 games of the combo, I know my district semifinal game, I scored 39. District final game was upper 30s, and then in the regional semifinal game, I think I had 20-something. But you go down there, and you gotta do what you can, right, to lead your team. You got to get the job done. Every kid's goal is to go and play in the Final Four. It used to be at Ohio State, now it's at Dayton, but you wanted to play at the shot. And so I know leading up to that regional semifinal, we were okay, we got to take care of New Philly, and then awesome opportunity would be to play in front of literally the entire Southern Ohio if it was us versus Chillicothe, the state Final Four. That would have been so. Unfortunately. Us and Chillicothe, we laid an egg that night. So
yeah,
regretful night for sure. I'm sure that they can say the same thing. So
now I want to ask you because you are obviously when you graduated leading scorer in Waverly history, but can't let it go without was a Paint Valley kid first. Okay, so I do want to ask you because. From what I kind of understood, a lot of the Bainbridge people, whenever you left, a lot of the Paint Valley people, it wasn't like when LeBron left Cleveland, went to Miami, everybody hated you. Everybody was like, yeah, Jake, go be great. We don't care. We kind of understood. How was it whenever you went from Paint Valley to Waverly? How was that transition for you in your life? How was it with your friends and family and everything like that?
So obviously my entire family, I was born and raised in Bainbridge, lived in the same house, my entire life. My parents still live there, a few minutes from Paint Valley schools. And so growing up, I was on the sidelines for football since I was probably 6 or 7 years old. Pete Holland was probably like
legend,
a father figure, legendary coach, right? I spent a lot of time with Coach Holland and all those guys. And so, my goal someday was to put on the black and gold, football Friday nights, love Paint Valley football. And that's
football's
pretty
king
much
there.
What it was all about, right? And so, some things happened. I didn't really get along with a few kids. There was some bullying going on, and it just came to me and was like, talk to my parents. I said, you know what? I don't know if this is going to be good for me, and I don't think that in this moment I got to make the decision that's best for me.
Right.
And at 14 years old, making a decision like that to go to a complete
that's tough, man. That's tough.
It's a really hard thing, and it was hard. I mean, it was hard for me personally. It was hard for my family. Hard for my friends. It was a huge decision, and God works in mysterious ways. He obviously had a plan for my life and for my athletic career, and it was a meant to be type of thing, I think. And I can't look back and regret the decision or say, oh, what would have life been like if I would have stayed at Paint Valley? Things could have been great at Paint Valley too, but unfortunately, they just didn't work out. And I have no hard feelings for anybody at Paint Valley. The people that I didn't get along with, those kids, I'm sure I'd have a conversation with them now, and it'd be, super mutual respect, right?
Yeah.
And I had a ton of friends. I have a ton of, people that I still, talk to from Paint Valley. And I tell people all the time, I still bleed a little bit black and gold.
Yeah.
And I love Paint Valley. I always follow them, always root for them. When you think of combo.
I remember you coming to our open gyms a lot when I was in high school, so you still were definitely giving back to the Bainbridge community for sure.
For sure. Absolutely. So, it's one of those things where, I was open enrolling, so I was traveling down to Waverly, 30 minutes a day. Essentially, my mom worked down there, so she'd kind of drop me off. I'd go to practice. She'd pick me up from practice, take me home. But then I also stayed with the family down there. My best friend, Devin Kelly, he lived on the lake down there, and we had a really good old time. So I stayed with them a lot, and then we were back and forth driving. So it wasn't the easiest of transitions, I will say. I mean, I'm thankful that the people of Waverly accepted me with open arms. All the guys down there, I got along. I fit right in with them. Football, basketball, and it was a great thing. So
yeah.
Pressure makes diamonds, man.
It does.
You know what I mean?
It
It
does.
was some hard decisions at 14, but I mean, maybe that's why you were so prepared later on.
Right. Now, I want to talk about that later on. You went through a recruiting process. I was looking at your ESPN about JMU was in there along with some other schools. End up eventually picking Akron. Then, I mean, you exploded. Won Freshman of the Year. I'm pretty sure your freshman year won the MAC championship, make it to the tournament. Can you talk about your transition in first? Why did you pick Akron? And then two, your transition from high school to college, I mean, to us, just looks seamless. So how was that transition like for you?
Yeah, I mean, the recruiting process is awesome. I talk to kids nowadays, and I'm like, take your visits, talk to coaches, enjoy it. Now you got the whole NIL thing that's new. Like, dive into that as much as you can. I didn't have that when I was, going through this process. So it was one of those things where the recruiting process used to be a lot different as far as like when they could call you, when they could come see you practice, when they could come see you play. And so AAU was a huge thing at that time, right?
Yeah.
So I got to play for an unbelievable AAU program that we had guys that went to Michigan State, West Virginia, two guys that went to Dayton. We had guys all over the board. And so I got to play in some unbelievable tournaments. We were a Nike-sponsored team. And I got a lot of exposure because I was on the So I was getting, highly recruited at high school. I was getting recruited by Florida State and Davidson and Oklahoma State. And I ended up settling on Akron because they had been with me from the start. As soon as they were allowed to recruit me at 15, Coach Rick McFadden started recruiting me. I had a great relationship with him, had a great relationship with Coach Dambrot, and it just felt right to me. And
did they talk to you at like a sophomore or freshman level? When did they start talking to you?
So I believe it was at 15, they could give you like a type of phone call and talk to your coach. And then I had went up there on a few like unofficial visits. I'd go up for football games in the fall and spend time with the coaches on a Saturday. And then I'd always try to go to the game when they played at OU because I was getting recruited by OU as well. And so it was kind of a tandem thing. I get to see both programs hang out and enjoy a game in the combo. So Akron had won, I believe, when I was being recruited by them. They had been to like 5 out of the last 6 MAC championship games. And I believe they won 3 of those. So it was like, you want to play for a team that's going to have an opportunity to play in the NCAA tournament, win championships. And Coach Danbra, if you guys didn't know, coached the GOAT, LeBron James, in high school.
High school, yeah.
There was the whole thing. I mean, Akron was sponsored by LeBron. LeBron was around. He played in open gyms. I met him a few times. He came to our games. He was at practice a few times. I mean, unbelievable, right? Unbelievable to be able to like see that and be a part of that. So, pretty cool stuff. I forget the second part of your question there. If you guys can't hear me.
It is super loud, so sorry if it's getting a little interrupted. We're trying to hear what best we can. We can hear most of it.
I was going to say.
But I guess I'll shoot another question.
Yeah, you
even
go,
if I have to rewatch it. You talked about AAU ball and how much that helped you. People like Steph Curry's dad he literally said he wasn't allowed to play AAU ball because he might pick up bad habits. I guess just maybe talk a little bit. Are you pro AAU, or do you feel like maybe you picked up some bad habits you didn't want, but you were around some of the best talent, and that's what made you better?
Because that's what we hear a lot from the coaches, the
experts.
The old,
you come back from summer, and I swear
the better generation. You pick up bad habits there. So
yeah, no, that's a fair assessment. I think AAU has a lot of good things, and it has some bad things. I think for a guy like me, coming from Southern Ohio, where I might not get a ton of exposure because I don't play in a big city, it was huge for me because, like, if I didn't play AAU, they may not know who I am, right? They may not find out who I am. So me playing AAU allowed me to put myself on the map because all it takes is one time having a big game in front of the right people, and all of a sudden, recruitment, you're king every. So it was huge for me to have that exposure. I think that the game has changed a lot of ways, like all the social media, like the highlight stuff. Guys want to, like, you know, one-on-one it, and it's like we had a really good team. We had a great coach as well that really, you know, we ran a, you know, college type of program when it came to our AU team. We ran a lot of good offensive plays, and it wasn't just like freelance all the time. And we had a good team of guys share the ball and play the right way. So I don't think I built any bad habits from it. I think if anything, I came back and I felt like my high school, you know, the game was slower because it was so fast. I mean, I was playing against unbelievable talent in AAU. I played against Julian Randle. I played against Mitch McGarry that played at Michigan. I played against, you know, other NBA guys, Jabari Parker. Yeah. I mean, the list goes on, right? So you were playing against the top talent, guys that are way light years better than I am. But to be able to play at that speed and just kind of cement yourself into it, it was super beneficial for me.
Yeah.
So.
And that's why I like what he said, where he says, like, I'm playing better talent, so obviously I have to be better too. And that's not just
the speed. The better talent increases speed in the game.
And that's not just
such a hard transition.
Well, like the team that you said you played on, that's not just in the game. That's practice. I mean, when you go to practice, you're playing against other Division I athletes, which is insane to me. And that's where I feel like people kind of overlook the AAU. So.
They always talk about one of the hardest transitions from one level to another is the speed of the game. Yeah. You know, especially when they talk NBA, which obviously that's
but when you're playing D1 basketball every single summer
when he gets back home, it's a lot slower for him. So I never thought of it that way. And then also the recognition, having that right scout there at the right time, it kind of pulls more people than he might get in Southern Ohio. Yeah, and I never thought of it that way either.
You might have said this if you did, I'm sorry, but we talked to a few players that are in high school now that play AAU, and they say just keeping the ball in their hand makes them feel like it helps them out a lot. Did you kind of get that same feeling?
Yeah, I mean, you stay playing, you stay active. I think another thing that helped me with AAU was the standpoint of, like, when you're on your team, your high school team, you're the star, right? You're getting all the shots. Your ball is constantly in your hand. So it put me in a little bit of a different role, more of what I played at as far as, like, being a catch-and-shoot guy, kind of a defensive guy, like defensive-minded person, because I had to do whatever it took to get on the court. And if I was just going out there and dribbling the ball and getting it stolen from me at half court by these other smaller defenders that were trashing me, that wouldn't get me time and it wouldn't get me, you know, good recognition from a scouting perspective. So, you know, I just kind of played my role. I rebounded the ball, dove on the floor for loose balls, had all the intangibles, was a team guy, and just made open shots. and that's really all it took. So.
Yeah. Now, I love how you said that because, it shows you just kind of how the kind of person you are, but it also shows like you're just a winner, man. Like you're coming out of high school being the best player, not only on your team, but probably in the area. Actually, the state was voted on. You were the best team in the state. And now you're coming and say, man, I just want to play my role, do my best to get on the court. And that's what winning's all about, man. And one thing that I always loved that Coach said to us was, I don't need you to love to win, but I need you to hate to lose. Yeah. And I felt like that's something that like has always made sense to me. Now, that kind of goes because the way you speak, the way you see the game, the way you played the game leads me to this next question. You quit playing, but then you went on the coaching staff with Dan Brought, if I'm not mistaken. When did you know you wanted to try out coaching, and how was that experience like for you going from player to coach?
So for me, I always felt like I was kind of like the coach on the floor, right? And that's why I was kind of one of those guys that needed to be in the game, especially in the important parts of the game when we're in crunch time, because Coach Dan Brought, Coach Robertson, high school coach, they knew that I was going to do the right thing, make the right decision. I was an extension of them on the court. And so just having that stance on it and just, having a super
We lost
high
a little
basketball.
audio, but the one thing I did hear is you knew exactly what to do with the ball. We were just talking about a player that immediately comes to mind, and it's T.J. McConnell. It's a dude that just is still – he's on an NBA roster. The reason he is because they know in the correct time he's going to go in and do the correct thing. And I think that's just, again, such an underrated thing nowadays because you can't teach it on YouTube. A lot of these kids, if they want an ISO jumper, they can go on YouTube, watch that video 1,000 times, but you can't teach basketball IQ.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I was sitting in a basement with Rick Pitino videos trying to figure stuff out. It's like, I just don't think they put the grind into that, but they love that hezzy fake. They love all that stuff like that, and I think it's tainted it a little bit.
Now, was LeBron who you kind of watched growing up, or who are some of the people that you kind of idolized as a young star coming up?
Oh, I love this question.
LeBron. Yeah, LeBron.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up a Cleveland Cavaliers fan, going to games. I was never really a big NBA guy. I was more, loved college basketball. I'd sit on my couch on a Saturday and just watch games all day long, right? And so, but as far as the NBA goes, yeah, LeBron.
Now,
I'm a LeBron.
I got to ask you this because I asked Humpty this, which I want to throw in there. The year they won the state championship, next year, guess who beat him? Waverly's Jake Kretzer. But I want to ask you, because I asked Humpty, whenever he was playing in high school, there are a lot of good players from Zanesville. There's a lot of good players in the SVC. And when you were playing, you literally had Malik and Chillicothe right down the road. You had Piketon. I think they just came off of a Final Four run a few years prior. Did you ever kind of look around the area and be like, okay, this is what Malik did last night. This is what I'm going to do tonight. Or did you do anything like that? Or was it just pay no mind, I'm going to do my thing?
So I think that, again, with like social media, like what you guys do and what Sosa does, like there's so much accessibility to what people are doing around the league in the area. I think is amazing. We didn't really have that. Like the only way I would know what somebody did is if I looked up in the newspaper what they scored, right? Or went on like Southeastern Ohio Preps, like went on the tagline and researched. And I kind of just had to stay away from that because there's always going to be people out there hating on you and saying, well, Kretzer should have done this or Kretzer should have done that. Well, Kretzer isn't doing this. And that would affect my game and the way I thought about things. If anybody brought something to my attention that fueled my fire to play better, then I would always appreciate that. It's kind of like the MJ, like you always want that underdog mentality to play harder and play better. And so, I didn't really think that way. But, when it got to the tournament, I mean, it was, things kind of ran through Chillicothe, us. We beat Chillicothe my freshman year.
Yeah.
We turned around and played in the sectional final my sophomore year. And we beat him to go to the continent, went on to play Logan Elm and lost in the district semifinals against Logan Elm. And I tell you what, I think that basketball during my 4 years at Waverly was at one of the highest points in the area. I mean, there were so many good teams.
Yes, man. I like to say that you guys started because, like, right after your run and Chillicothe's run is when Uniola went on their run, and then Southeastern went on a magical regional run, like a few years after you guys. So I like to say, 2008 was the peak of like from the 90s to that point. And then I think they passed the baton on to you guys and Malik and all them and kept going. And like I said, man, when Jake Kretzer was playing, when Waverly was playing, you had to be. It was must-watch TV. I mean, I was watching the highlight reel, which it's kind of funny. I was watching it, and then Jake was like, "Hey, I found this." I was like, "Yeah, dude, this is dope." It's like a 10-minute highlight reel. Jake's being awesome. But like, there's a lot video of you on high school. Dude, I don't know if people could even. There was no standing room. Like, you know, people say standing room. Like, no room. Yeah. Like, how was it like playing in that downtown gym in Waverly?
Unreal. I mean, the Holiday Classic, which I don't know if you ever came to that.
Yeah.
That was always between the county, Pike County, right? So all the 4 teams would be there, and it typically would come down to us and Piketon, and it was like I didn't really get along with Piketon when I was growing up because of the Paint Valley Piketon situation, and so like we kind of already had our friction with those guys, you know?
Yeah.
And when I got to Waverly, it was the same thing. You know, 5 minutes down the road from each other, Piketon and Waverly, like, all right, you know, it's on. So I kind of always had that, you know, chip on my shoulder whenever we were playing. And of course, there was a trophy on the line, right? So you wanted to win it. But man, yeah, I would just kind of get into a different mode. I mean, you talk about not a seat in the house. The floor was soaking wet because there were so many people in there just like breathing on the court. And, you know, unbelievable. I had one of my favorite moments of my career. I scored 43 against Piketon my senior year in the Holiday Classic, and I hit a shot at halftime from like the free throw line, and that thing was like, I don't know if it got much higher than the rim, and right in the bottom of the net. And you talk about an unbelievable like eruption of, you know, atmosphere. It was phenomenal. So.
Yeah, like I played I think 2 sectional games there my first year, and I couldn't imagine if like that was like my home and that I coached one like Dylan's junior year, and I can't imagine what it'd be like if that was my home court because all the way down to the locker rooms. I mean, the locker rooms are like, I don't like not old as in like ran down, like old feeling, you know what I mean? Like they built these locker rooms, didn't touch them ever again, you know, other than to like fix them up, and that's what I always loved about it. Now Jake, one question before I get you out of here, and definitely next time we have you, I want you in person because I can talk with you for hours about basketball.
I'm like sad.
It's insane. But one thing I got to ask you is, say you're in high school, you know, you just destroyed Piketon in the Holiday Classic.
Dropped a nice 43 piece casually.
Where are you going out to eat afterwards, or how are you celebrating with the team?
We'll say back then and now.
Yeah.
If you have a W at work and you come home, I want to know both.
That's a good question. So in high school, we used to go to Fred's in Waverly.
Yeah, Fred's Pizza. I tried the pizza challenge. I had this much cheese left. I couldn't do it. I was gonna die. I couldn't do it.
Fred's is good. Cardo's is amazing. Lloyd's was amazing. Like all those places are amazing down there. And I'm a big pizza guy, so I'd always kind of probably get a slice after the game. And now, I mean, not much has changed. I'm still a pizza guy.
Oh, pizza is undefeated.
Me too.
We're thinking about doing like a pizza tour, like try all the best pizzas. Fred's has to be first on there.
Yeah.
Well, Jake, thank you so much for coming on. I'm sorry we had a little audio issue on our side, but
that's all good.
Please come back.
We know. We know you just dropped some knowledge on everybody. I just want to say, from a fan's perspective, man, watching you through high school, watching you just take on the pressure, and one thing that I liked about him, man, is like there's some athletes that are star athlete and they just kind of go out there and play the game. What I liked is that Jake knew how to play like with the crowd. Like he'd get him involved. He knew it was like, I felt like you knew like, man, once I go down there and dunk this or hit this three, this play's going to go out. And they would. So it was just fun to watch you on the court, man. You're super electric. I know a lot of kids looked up to you, so I'm glad you got to come on this show. And again, hopefully we get to have you on many more times.
Yeah, anytime, guys. I really appreciate it. I love what you guys are doing. You guys have had some phenomenal guests on, some people that I've looked up to and watched, you know, when I was growing up, and I wish you guys nothing but the best, so keep it going.
Oh, thank you so much, man. Ladies and gentlemen, Waverly legend, the MAC Freshman of the Year and Sixth Man of the Year, Jake Kretzer! Dude, I know you didn't grow up here. I think you might have known Jake a little bit when we were in high school. That dude was I wish we had better audio. It's the gym, I'm pretty sure. It's kind of how that's like all going.
I kind of gave up what I looked like. It was just smashing this and doing
Yeah.
this. I was like, I don't care. I want to hear
I
it.
couldn't hear
Anything.
single thing.
Dude, I'm so. To be honest, I feel like multiple weeks in a row now, we're having people come on and talk about things like AAU ball, and they're or whether it's Ben Hartsock talking about money and NILs. They're coming from angles that I never thought of.
Yeah.
Like when you think of a couple of different ways, the Holiday Classic, one, there's nothing better than the holiday games because
No.
everybody's off school
Yeah.
coming. So you're dang right about those ones. They're playing in different areas where the backdrops are different and different things
Dude,
like
it
that.
is.
Massively
whenever
underrated.
Shu told us that we are going to OUC, I really didn't think it'd be that big of a I was like, dude, what's the difference between doing that? Like, if we went to our first practice, and I mean, I airballed like normal, but when Clay Stratton and like Anthony McFadden started missing, I'm like, this is not right. This must be a lot harder than normal.
You're airballed by 6 inches instead of
And
3.
then when I knew, because like, I think it's the way the floor is built, because like I feel like OUC's floor is like this, where it's not 2 layers, and I know Ohio's is it like how we went to Xavier's, it was the court and then under. I know Ohio's is not like that, so I don't know if it's the wood, but again, I knew that it had more step because I touched the rim, and I was like, never done that before in my life. So I like to see though that, you know, OUC is such a weapon that I think so many more teams around here should use if they go to the Convo. I know Matt Hoops does it. Look at his record in the Convo. I know Shu's done it. Only coach has won in the Convo. Like, I don't know about other schools, but I just feel like, why not use OUC if it's right there for your take? It's literally the exact same floor as Ohio. I like look-wise and everything. I just don't know why, other than maybe because they're using it for freaking flea markets, which that just gave me on another rant a different time. But like, Adam, I'm looking at you again, like Vinton County-wise. Whenever it's packed like that, who were? Because I know some of them were your cousins that were like the Jake Kretzers down there that kind of like took over the crowd. So I feel like you kind of lived that, obviously through Vinton County.
Well, with Matt Combs as a coach, you usually can't do a whole lot of crowd work. He kind of keeps you reined in.
Yeah.
Like, if you wore a shooting sleeve, the crowd, I don't care if you were LeBron James, probably getting cut. Like, I mean, like,
a whole different story,
up,
but like weird coming from Coach Combs that was a rule.
I know.
That was a rule. But that's insane. Could you imagine walking
I
in?
remember there was one kid who like wore a headband. I'm pretty sure he was just
I feel like Coach Combs came in. Get out! Like, flip that.
I mean, the kid wasn't like good or anything. Like he was
But
wearing.
be who you can afford to be. If you're not good, don't try showing up with a headband.
I think that was his like right. He had the reaction.
Deion Sanders.
Yeah,
Look good, feel good, feel good, play good, play good. They pay good.
It doesn't
might have
matter.
been
Sometimes
feeling
it doesn't matter
But
if
he
somebody
was not
comes in.
playing.
I had the arm, because I'm sitting here, let you guys talk. I had
getting
the
lit
arm-
over here.
I had the arm sleeve, I had the finger strap, I had everything, but I felt
Hold on, like Kobe.
okay, like Allen Iverson. I don't want to take anything from
Okay, 'cause
Kobe, but AI was rocking
Kobe did the two
the dubs.
together.
Paul Pierce had one
Well,
too.
Kobe broke his fingers.
But I feel like I remember. Now, don't quote me on this, but I feel like I remember saying like after he broke his finger, like he got so used to it, they just did it all the time. Am I
that's my
mistaken on
thing
that?
is, When I broke my hand, I had one of those on for a while, and it took me. I just now got to where I can actually shoot and make a shot without that thing on my
I'm
hand.
still trying to get to where I
In the
can shoot.
90s, though, they were finding every way to put a piece of something somewhere.
Yeah,
like
dude,
they
now-
were, that's when the dress codes were coming in.
Yeah.
Like all those things
So,
like that.
hold
So
on.
on the court, they're like
This
literally.
is kind of funny though. Now kids are wanting to wear like shorter shorts, but then wear the long leg. I'm
Yeah.
like, why don't you just wear the long
Yep.
shorts, bro?
And
I
some
don't
of them
get
aren't
it.
even the leggings. They
Yeah.
literally are compression shorts that go down to their knees.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
What are we doing?
You know what? I wouldn't mind getting myself in a pair of Hoochie Daddy shorts. Go out there and play a good ball. You know what I mean?
Dude,
Don't- I'm gonna
one
have to
thing that
roll
was
them up.
crazy watching his highlights was he was like right at the end of the baggy shorts era.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is like seeing a guy run like where he's here, but the bottom of his shorts is still like way back.
dude, that's the best pictures. Floppy jersey Kobe is a different Kobe.
Yeah.
And long jersey Ray
I
Allen
feel
was
like-
too on the Bucks.
I feel
Floppy
like
jersey
if we
Ray was
did
great.
a scientific analysis, which we aren't going to do because I hate science, that more between the leg moves happen after and before the baggy shorts era than during because of the ball hitting
No,
a
I think
piece of
that
shorts.
if you were just so good, they were like, I can sag my shorts and
I
still,
can say,
still do it.
Dude, it was literally like and one was just basketball
Well, like-
everywhere.
Yeah, I say Carmelo was another big, like when him and AI were playing on Denver Nuggets at the same time, like they had some baggy shorts on
yeah.
that team.
Yeah.
It was just like,
Dude, and that's another thing I want to get on. The NBA logo, we went over this, is going so downhill.
They've killed so many logos
So
and colorways, just murdered them.
The funny thing is, Adam pulled up, he goes, dude, this has to be the worst logo change. And then the scroll, we didn't know it's every single team. And it was like each scroll was, well, that has to be the worst. Well, jeez, these are all way worse.
The first one they lived with, though, is the Pistons. They went from the dark horse they had in the early 2000s to what it is now. Travesty.
Yeah.
They straight up massacred
then it was the
my
Nuggets.
boy. Okay, never mind. Okay.
And then it was,
I will do it again.
And then it was the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yeah, all of them
horrible.
just massacred, dude.
The Warriors. I mean, the Cavs. All
the
of
Cavs
them.
was another one they got.
The Cavs went straight down whenever they changed their jerseys to that maroon and yellow and white. When they
took away like the little C
Grizzlies
around the ball with the Cavalier sword.
The old Grizzlies was fire, and now they're just boring and blue.
Yeah, the old Grizzlies. The one that I thought was
kind
the
of like
worst.
McDonald's.
Because everybody, I feel like a lot of people think that the Pistons ones were. Dude, when we saw that Minnesota one, that has to be number one.
That one hurt me a lot.
Because as soon as I saw that, I just thought of KG.
Yeah.
And like,
are you talking about the Timberline with the wolf on the back?
The first thing I thought of, man, I got a hole. I got a hole in my jersey. Like that was the first thing I thought of.
We'll get you right here. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have the person that's orchestrating this whole event, legendary volleyball player herself. You can sit in that chair. You're all right. Jackie Keller herself. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks, guys.
Can you hear us all right?
Huh? Yeah.
Yep. Okay, cool. So, Jackie,
you can shrink them if you push
if we tried to explain what's going on here, we would just butcher it. So can you kind of walk us through what's going on here and what kind of sparked the idea and everything like that?
Yeah, so, I mean, kind of that's why we wanted to do this. We wanted people to learn a little bit more about volleyball, especially our boys.
Perfect for us to be here. We don't know anything.
Yeah. Well, our boys have been interested. We had a great student section and stuff this year, so we wanted to kind of give back to them and let them have an opportunity to play and have a little bit of fun and learn some more rules and stuff of volleyball. So we decided to have an in-house one, and it was so well. We had like 6 Huntington teams show up.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. And we decided to open it up to the SVC and some surrounding teams. We didn't get a ton of other schools to show up, but we're hoping to kind of keep growing and stuff as the years go. But just some fun for the kids to do.
I like what you said, too, because I feel like if the boys are playing volleyball, when volleyball season comes around, the student section's getting intense. Because I remember when I was in high school, I mean, I went to Pay Valley. We were terrible. But, man, was our student section awesome.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And I feel like that's something that needs to come back in the SVC because, man, if you played in it, now you've coached it. SVC volleyball is different. Can you kind of talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I agree. It's different. And that goes to back to just the coaches that we have here. We have a lot of good clubs around here, and girls are playing volleyball all the time. SVC is so competitive. Every night you go in, you don't know who's going to win, right?
Yeah,
it's anybody's ball game. And even going into tournaments, you always have quite a few teams going far along.
I feel like everybody's winning a district. It's like the SVC tournament season starts after districts.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So we love it. We love volleyball, and now we're just bringing it all year round.
I love it.
You know why I like this specifically? It's because do you know how you get people to respect a sport? You make them suck at it.
Yeah.
Like, you hear these dudes out here, and I don't care, the best team on here will get smoked by the JV team. I'll tell you right now. So it's like I like that they get out here, you feel it, so when you come back and you're watching volleyball mid-season, you're kind of sitting there being like, oh, dude, this is way harder.
Now, I got to ask, you have volleyball players as the coaches?
Yes.
It's like reverse powder puff.
It is. So now I'm like, see, you guys know how I feel. Like, you're telling them to doing it, but they're not doing it.
That's insane.
I was sitting here saying, man, like, make them suck at it. That kid just had a spike.
I saw somebody's chest above the net.
Did you see that?
Yeah, we might have to raise the net next time.
That was so savage.
Now, Jackie, this is fundraiser, right? So it's going to be raising money for the volleyball program and everything like that. That is so awesome. Now, I want to ask, you guys had a pretty good year this year in volleyball. What are you guys doing in the summertime and looking forward to next year?
Yeah, so we do open gyms and stuff all summer, and this is gonna help us get our team camp going. Last year we went to a camp and we stayed all night, 3 nights together, and pushed the girls. Yeah. So we're always kind of trying to not only push them in volleyball, but getting that team bonding together and stuff. So this money will go towards that, just different things. Planning for the summer,
Okay. Now, have you watched any of the pro volleyball league that's started?
I
got to catch a couple of games free on YouTube, and man, I was like, this is intense.
I know. Awesome. I'm so excited for it. It's awesome.
Yeah.
The girls have been coming to like the club tournaments too, and kind of getting their name out there. So a lot of my players have met them and
That's awesome.
had their shirt signed and
That's
stuff.
awesome.
So yeah.
And it's been like the nationwide. I think they don't sell the top level. They need to start because the bottom level has been sold out like the first 3 games they've
Dude,
had.
it's like an NBA game in there. It really is.
Better.
Like, it is just like that. The lighting system, though, like the whole like vibe system. It feels like it's an EA Sports game.
Because they have like a dim behind and they have like a red light. I feel like it's like kind of shadow. It's insane.
Yeah.
Now I want to ask you while we have you here. You played at Huntington. Now you're back coaching for Huntington.
Yeah.
What's it been like for you to come back up? Because you didn't just put, your name and picture are on the wall out there for a reason. You were an absolute stud. So what's it been like coming back and kind of like you walk in and you're seeing your name, your years up there on there, but now you're the one coaching. So what's that been like for you?
There's no place like home. You know?
Amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
It's just the people I've known them my whole life.
Yeah.
I can go down the hallway. I know their brother, their cousin, their sister, and we're a family.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm learning more about them as we go, and I'm investing into the families that invested in me. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
These people helped me become the person I am, and now I feel like I'm kind of giving back to them, doing it for them and their kids and stuff. So it means a little bit more.
Is there times where you're coaching and you're like you kind of get a little mad at a player and you turn around like, I remember when I did that at a player and I'm so mad at myself now.
Right? Yeah.
I do that all the time. I'm like, dude, you can't yell at the ref after every foul. And then I walk away. I'm like, I definitely yell at the ref after every foul. So I'm sure you have some moments like that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's awesome. Well, Jackie, thank you for coming on. Thank you for explaining this for us so we didn't butcher it for you.
Yeah.
And honestly, this is getting intense. That guy, that was almost a
full front foot.
That is insane.
Almost ran into the bleachers.
Yeah.
That man was perpendicular to the ground, but 6 feet off the ground.
Yeah, it was
Parallel.
What is going on?
Parallel to the ground. Nailed it.
Well, Jackie, thank you so much for coming on, and best of luck next year.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jackie Keller!
Woo!
Thanks for coming on. Okay, you know how we were talking, like Jake Kretzer of freaking Huntington volleyball, dude. Like, it's insane. Like, she was an absolute stud. Like, her name is up on the wall for a reason. And I kind of like, what's up, man? Come on up. Put the headset on. What's your name?
Quincy.
Quincy? All right, Quincy, what's your job down here?
Nothing.
Super fan?
He's like, hey, what's your job? Nothing. Okay.
You got a brother or
get
sister
roped up into this? Are you just here to watch? You got a brother playing, sister?
My friend's brother's playing and my homie's playing.
Oh, your homie. Which one's your homie?
Morgan.
Morgan?
You see the guy?
Oh, Brandheiser? All right.
Okay.
Is this team winning right now?
I don't think so.
Oh, Morgan, we got to step it up, man. Let's go. Let's go. We got Quincy up here cheering for you. We got to get it. Got to get it done. All right, Quincy, do you think Morgan's going to win the whole tournament?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, heard it here first. First prediction for the whole tournament.
Quincy, you got any favorite basketball players or anything like that? Any sports players you like?
Michael Jordan.
Oh, that's a good
respectable.
callback. Yeah. Now, who's your favorite team? Is it the Bulls?
Nah.
Who is it? Do you have one?
Golden State Warriors.
You like the Warriors? Okay. Now,
Fun-
do you
fun
play
to
sports
watch.
yourself? What sports you playing?
Football, basketball, baseball,
Jeez,
We'll be talking about you in a couple years,
playing,
man.
aren't you?
wrestling.
Wrestling?
And then-
Oh, taking them. What's your favorite wrestling move?
I don't know.
Have you learned the Gamby
Wait a
roll
minute.
yet?
Yeah.
Yes,
We're
sir.
just going to name that one then. All right, well, Quincy, before we get you out of here for this amazing interview, we got to ask you probably the most important question we ask everybody, okay? If you had to pick your dream meal, what would it be?
Steak.
Steak.
What's
All
your
right.
sides? What's your
What's your
sides?
sides
What
of the steak?
what about superpower? If you could have any superpower in the world, what superpower would you have?
Be strong.
Oh, dude, it's kind of hard not. You know how much money you can make with super strength?
And do you know how many sports you can play with Super Strength?
All of them.
All the ones he plays.
Yes. All right, well, Quincy, we're going to let you get back to cheering on Morgan real quick. So thank you for coming on, and best of luck to you on your sports, buddy. Ladies and gentlemen, the legendary Quincy.
Woo! I'll tell you what, brother.
I'll tell you one thing. Morgan better pick it up for that guy.
Determination.
Yeah. I said, what's your job? He said, nothing. I was like,
He had to think about it first.
He did. He goes, wait, what am I doing?
I'm not doing anything.
But yeah, I'm just kind of here.
I lost my job last week. I got laid off.
Snow dried up. I got no more driveways left.
Yeah. I love it.
Oh, man. I left my job last week. What were you doing? Lemonade stand, dude.
Yeah. Dude, I'm telling you, my dad really does stop and give money to the kids that go around with snow shovels and stuff because he's just like,
yeah.
These kids have mocks.
Well, tell your dad I had a snow shovel. No, guys, one thing I want to talk about while we're here in Huntington is the Pay Valley guy doing really good in college. That's Cole Miller.
Yes, sir.
Dude, second in the nation with his jump.
Nation?
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 Nation? But yeah, no, not just like D2, like all NCAA. Like that
All
dude
of it.
is like here's the NCAA, like all of it.
Here's church. Here's staple. I open up, see all the paper.
Like the whole nation.
What?
Nation?
Anyways,
It is pretty insane, though, because what's cool with track is it doesn't matter what college you go to. Your number's your number.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't be like, well, he's D2. Okay.
cool.
Clock don't lie, buddy.
Yeah.
If I run it here or run it there, it's
that
all
clock
the same.
is D1. Let me tell you that.
That distance,
for sure.
24 feet, 24 feet.
Yeah,
Like-
it's not 24 feet, and then a different kind of 24 feet in D1. No, it's insane, man. Because dude,
Every pitch is the same size. Their pitch is the same as ours. Ted, actually, this one's a little bigger.
I got to reiterate this because we had him on on the show. Oh, let's go, Justin Kello coming
and he takes
in
the best
clutch.
one for himself.
Thank you.
Andy, which color do you think I would like?
I don't want the white.
White.
Give me the red.
Oh, perfect. I really
If I
want
can't
the
have
Natty.
the blue, I guess I'll take the red.
Yes, this is the Glacier Cherry, and it's not even G2.
Sponsored
We're
by
getting
Gatorade.
spoiled.
Not
We're
really.
getting spoiled tonight. Oh my God.
What were we talking about? This is a great show. Oh, I want to circle back real quick because we were talking about the NBA and then couldn't deny Jake Kretzer's interest anymore. Did you guys see that one?
I had to burp.
The number one, well, I guess not the number one reason, but like top reason why CP3 didn't go to the Heat with Dwayne Wade and LeBron and why it was Chris Bosh. It's because CP3 didn't want to wear a different number than 3. He didn't want Dwayne Wade. He wanted to wear 3, and Dwayne Wade was like, "No, I'm 3,
my number's gonna
and
be in the
I've been
rafters."
here.
Yeah.
You can change the number." And Chris Paul's like, "No," and just went back to the Clippers. What?
Yeah, that was
What?
the reason he has. The reason
Is
he
it
hasn't
weird that
won a
I'm 50-50
championship
on it?
the
It's
reason
'cause
he
he's a
has-
bitch.
No, it's because. I mean,
Whoop.
just because the location
used to the
changes, doesn't mean we can't say it. Like,
Yeah, it's true.
we just can't say it at the
I
people
probably
behind
shouldn't
us.
scream it like I
Yeah.
just did.
But, no,
Sometimes I feel like when
he
the
got
microphones
cursed.
are on, they can't hear us out there. They
can.
definitely can. Yeah.
He got cursed for that and never won a ring and never will win a ring.
Could you imagine? What's your favorite number? 22. Say you got to go on the Miami Heat. They gave you the contract. They said you're going to be our third option scorer.
Miami
You
Heat
can't wear
give
them-
me a jersey that says BB for Bat Boy,
I will
and
be
they
on
ain't
the
got
team.
bats. I'll
They ain't
still
got
be there.
bats.
Like,
That's what I'm saying, man. Like I love the number 3. I also love the number 5. Oh my God! Sorry, I gotta say this on live air.
what if you were 35?
Guess what my store number is for Verizon?
35.
53.
Oh,
I'm gonna die in that store.
At least we're dying the same
yeah,
year.
I'm dying in that store, dude. I am cursed.
No,
Oh, no,
but
I-
I
yeah.
love my number a lot. I've been 24 and everything my whole life. I feel like basketball and football, it's a little different. Like football, there's so many players. I would like almost want to demand my number and things like that. But basketball, it's like there's
Now,
so
is it in
little
the
that I think
NFL?
I'd be more malleable. I think I
you
might
can
give
have
up my number.
two
in
numbers
basketball.
on you can have
NCAA.
It's NCAA. Okay, I couldn't
Yeah.
remember if it was college or if it was the NFL. But
Now,
it is the
did you
NFL.
ever
Now it's
have?
a lot easier because you can pick whatever number.
Did you ever have a
Before,
number
it was like
because
if
of
you
a
were in a corner,
sport?
you weren't getting your. I would never be able to get.
So
to
like, say when I was a kid and I was playing Madden, NBA, MLB, right? When I was on Madden, like I wanted a number in the 20s. When I was playing basketball, I wanted number 3. When I was playing baseball, I kind of went from either 3 or the 20s.
So you in real life, I was 89 in football. I grew up. I was 32 growing up, but then instead of being a running back, I got a little slow, got a little tall, and they were like,
good at running.
we can make you a tight end. We can
make
so I
you-
was like, all right, my cousin wore 89, I wear that. But if I'm playing Madden, like you said, it's 2. I just drop the first 2 or the second 2, whichever 2 I want off
Yeah.
the 22.
It can be first, Give me a second.
Yeah.
My first number was in basketball. Everybody wanted 23. It was really annoying to me that they fought over the number, so I said I want to be one better.
I'm pretty sure that's why I got with 22, because you're ranked one better if you're going rankings-wise.
23 never was appealing to me because before I got into basketball, before I got into baseball, Jeff Gordon, bud. He was right by he grew up right by my dad. Gordon all the way. I was 24. And I'll never
Raise
forget.
hell, praise Dale over here. Threes, bud.
I'll never forget when I went to the first sport I ever played where you picked your number was baseball. They're like, what number do you want? I said 24. I remember they gave me 3, which is my favorite number now, and I was pissed, dude. I was so mad. I'm like, no, 24.
I love 24 so much.
other
Jeff Gordon fans on this team. One of them was my boy.
Jeff's the king, bud. Okay, that's a big number right now. LeBron who? We want Jeff Gordon.
I like 24 so much my Keno numbers are 24 and 42. And it's
Dude,
just,
I
like
don't get
42
Keno
'cause I
numbers.
split it.
It's not like lotto numbers for me, man. I just don't have winning numbers. I don't have winning numbers in lotto either. But
I just took my favorite
time
number
somebody
and mixed it. Yours would be like 8 or some shit. If
I hate 8.
Every time somebody says Keno, I just think of Larry the Cable Guy thinking somebody was looking for a dog. He's like, Keno. Lady was in there looking for a dog in the elevator all night.
Man. Well, I want to say again, man.
Keno's paid my tab numerous times.
Dude.
That 3-spot number
Keno's
you
paid
win
my tab at one
$27.
place, and then my next 3 tabs after I left that place. But I didn't play it, dude. I've always been around people when they won, and so I'm like, well, maybe I'm not the one that needs to be playing. I just need to be around you when you're playing, and that means when you win, you got to pay for my drinks too. But no, we had Jake Kretzer on in that first hour after a few little difficulties. He finally got him on. Can't say enough on how big he was because, again, he talked about it a little bit. When he left from Paint Valley to Waverly, like I said, eventually by the time everyone's like, well, he's good, so we should still love him anyways. But like he said, that initial break-off, not well liked by everyone because he was the next. You guys hear me talk about Drew Bob and everything like that. He was the next Drew Bob. He was going to lead him in football. He's going to lead him in basketball. He was going to lead him in baseball. Didn't play baseball.
Drew Bob, I just like the name. I've never met him.
You've never met Drew Bob? He's the man with 2 names.
That's what I'm saying. I just sit there and be like, oh, that's old Drew Bob.
I have an aunt right now, Aunt Sherry Bob, Aunt Steve Bob, Jared Bob, Brandon Bob, Bob, B-O-B-B from Meggs.
I had a Bob, but he died. So that was my dad.
That was one.
I like Bob Evans.
Dude,
I got no Bobs.
if you're going to Bob Evans, what's the first thing you're getting?
Sausage gravy. Probably a menu. Maybe seated.
They have a heavy black pepper sausage gravy.
Probably go through a door. No, but for real, if you're going there and you're just they can't give you menus. They say all our menus burnt to a crisp. You're going to have to order off memory. What's the first thing that comes to your mind they ordered from Bob Evans? He said, I'm ordering DoorDash. I'm getting up and leaving.
Probably only. Well, I can't.
Andy, are we good for our next guest?
Skits and Grave,
okay,
maybe?
cool.
Maybe Skits and Grave.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that was gravy
that's
was
the
our
only thing I
next
know they have.
guest pitching in high school. Kid was an absolute stud. Probably would have won state in 2020 if the world didn't cancel the year in 2020. So he ended up winning a sectional championship, ended up winning a district championship, was the absolute ace for Paint Valley, bleeds black and gold. He struck out 116 batters in 74 innings pitched. The pitcher for Eastern Kentucky, Brock Blanton.
The Cardinals, baby. Woo!
How's it going, guys?
Brock, how's it going, my man?
Going good, man. Thank you.
All right, so Brock, we're having a little technical difficulties, so if we can't hear you too well, we apologize in advance. We know all of our viewers at home can hear you. But first thing I want to talk to you, man, you are a great pitcher. You're a great pitcher now. You're doing great things, but I actually got the chance to talk with Coach Combs before we came on today. And first off, can't say enough of how much he loved and respected getting to coach for you. But one thing that kept coming up to him was how much you loved just being a Paint Valley Bearcat. Can you talk about what it meant to you to be Paint Bearcat and what your time was like as a Paint Valley Bearcat?
Yeah, man. So growing up, whole family went to Paint Valley. It's a thing where it's what your family really looks forward to as, growing up. And so my whole family had some leads into Paint Valley, sporting events. My whole family basically, from grandpas to cousins, aunts, uncles, everyone went there, played sports. So I kind of had some big expectations there. And then just, kind of from, A through middle school, I just really started to hone, what was meant to be, kind of how we went about things at Paint Valley and just kind of our way of what we do best there. And then as I transitioned from middle school to high school, I just really honed in on what it means to basically, bleed the black and gold and just really, show all the people and the community what it means to be a Bearcat, because not really many people understand what it means to be a Bearcat, but the passion that you have to have at Paint Valley. Yeah.
You grew. I got to watch you grow up. Everything you just said, you kind of knew that from him from the get go. And what you said with Paint Valley and loving their baseball, I know we kind of preach on how much they love their football, but we were talking about it before the show. Only team state championship in Paint Valley history was for baseball. So they love their baseball out there. And the thing with the baseball community out there is they are a smart baseball fan base. You know what I mean? Like, they know when a pitcher's in his groove. They know when he's not. They know kind of like early in the game how the game's going to play out. And one thing I thought was the kind of like fan base that you got at games out there was a little bit different than when you went to like Union or Huntington. Like, it was actually like quite a bit of people out there. And I feel like, as he kept going, like in every other sport, the more you advance, the more the fans kept coming. So, Paint Valley, I feel like, is a little small, but like it kind of does help you for the next level of D1. It's kind of what I want to ask you is because, at Paint Valley, you don't just end the game and leave and know, like, everyone wants to talk to you. So that kind of helped you a little bit going from there to D1 and handling like the media and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like, in high school and those big games throughout the season, towards the end of the year, the sectional, district, all that stuff, when, you had the media come out and kind of interview, it does set you up when you get here. I feel like being in that small community and then making the transition to so many people on campus here and the fan base here, at Paint Valley, like you said, it's small. So you go from maybe close to 100 people.
Now, I want to ask you, because I feel like I was this way if I ever was, because baseball was kind of my sport. You ever walk up on the mound and, like, you look at the first three batters and be like, oh, dude, these guys are my bitch. I own them. You ever have that feeling?
Yeah, man.
I love
I
it.
get out there and I'm in my zone, man. I'm telling you, like, there's some guys, like, for example, the 3-5s, man, they're studs on every team you play, and like when I'm man, it's time to throw down, like, and I'm just ready, man, like,
yeah.
And I'll be saying some things where I come out or I go crazy, man. I spot them on the field. I get pumped up, and
I was about to say, dude, I remember watching you as a kid, man, and like you play with your heart on your sleeve, man. You play with a lot of passion. Is that because it's kind of a two-parter? Is that because of how much you love to compete, or how much you love to play baseball? And after that question, when did you know that baseball was your sport?
Yeah, so I think both sided there. Passion, because every day is a new day to play the game. It's an opportunity to play the game. So I think that being able to do that each and every day, is where I play for, because you never know when your last day to play is going to be. But I also kind of feel like what you said, transitioning out of middle school to high school, I played 3 sports, and baseball just is what I really had that drive and passion for. I felt that's like what I stood out in most. And playing travel ball, I always played a level up from where I was supposed to be playing. So, for example, if it was 15U, I was always playing up 16U. So, I felt like when I was able to compete with the guys that were older than me and show myself, but also being able to compete with them and know that I'm able to compete with them, that was when I was like, man, like, I really want to focus on this and just hone in on being a baseball player.
Was there, because we kind of talked with Jake Kretzer. We did talk with Jake Kretzer earlier, and we asked him about AAU for basketball. Some people think AAU basketball makes you form bad habits. Other people think it's,
For baseball, it might be puts more pitches on your arm.
So I was going to ask you for baseball, do you think, travel ball is I feel like for me, my opinion on travel baseball is completely different to where baseball is all about getting more reps, man. You can only really, truly practice baseball by playing baseball. And I feel like travel ball kind of stepped in for that. So do you feel like travel ball more helped you or hurt you whenever you were in high school?
Yeah, so I would say it helped me a lot more. And the reason I say that is not that the high school competition level is down. We played great guys, but I feel like when you get to the travel aspect, it's all a lot of guys that have the passion for baseball, but they want to continue their career outside of high school. And I feel like when you go up there and you play those kind of guys or have the passion that you have for baseball, it allows you to, succeed, but it also allows you to compete at a different level than what you're used to. Oh, yeah. So I feel like for me, I went into it with a different mindset than high school ball. Like, hey, man, teams have college guys that already commit, to show myself what I'm made of, but to compete against them, see if that makes sense. And so I feel like a lot of people have the wrong conception of it, like you said, about forming bad habits. But I feel like, if you are a two-way guy like I was in high school, you're not going to pitch every game, so it's not going to destroy your arm, kind of like you were saying. So you get both sides of the game still in travel ball. But it's also beneficial for, if you're not looking to, kind of go to the college level, guys that didn't get the opportunity in high school may get to go play travel ball and do what they do best there, get more of an opportunity. So I feel like it's kind of two.
Yeah. I love that answer so much.
The passion was again, it's always something that you don't think of, and you don't really think in Southern Ohio, like everyone loves baseball, but when you're going out there and you're going crazy and you're live and breathe baseball, maybe that bottom tier of your lineup, they're playing baseball because they like sports and things like that, but you get to those travel leagues, everybody there is straight
and there's a lot of terminology they said there too, where you talk about like a 5-tool player, middle of the lineup is coming here. I feel like I'm literally talking to Coach Combs a little bit because I've heard that in meetings. I want to ask you about your time playing with him because, I played baseball forever, but I didn't learn that. I learned more baseball in the 3 years I played under Coach Combs than I've learned in my entire life. I mean, he's the one that kind of taught me, like, hey, you don't want to just put your scrubs at 7, 8, 9. You kind of want to put a good hitter at the 8 or 9 hole, get somebody on base. Then your top of the order's coming up, and you have somebody on base. He really taught me what a 5-tool player was, 4-tool, 3-tool. He taught me about putting people in places that they don't really like, but that's where they succeed. He taught me a lot. So what I want to ask you is, what did you maybe learn, and what was it like for you playing under, again, a 200 win? You were part of his 200th win, a 200 win coach in Coach Combs.
Yeah, it was great, man. Coach Combs, like you said, he taught us a lot of different lessons. I would say lessons that not only were on the field, but off the field, of how to be a better person, how to be a man, and setting you up for success outside of baseball. But I feel like, playing under Coach Combs, like he said, I feel like he was very good at getting you to understand what you as a player. A 5-tool player, 4-tool, 3-tool. And talking about how some guy may fit into the lineup underneath in the bottom 9, but those guys know what the role is, and they know it's crucial and critical too. And Combs was very good about how he, talked about it, shared his mind, shared his thoughts of what he thought of you. Yeah. But he also, I felt like
that's why I like right there. Sorry to cut you off. That's why I like right there where you say he shared his thoughts in his mind, like about you, not about baseball. Like, he would talk to you about you, and it was never like a degrading thing. It was just like he would sit you down, and you have a real conversation. He'd be like, hey, straight up, this is just how I think you are. If you want to get better, obviously, but this is how I think you are right now. I think you're a 3-tool player because of this, this, and this.
There's not a lot of real conversations going on anymore.
And that's why, like, when it comes back to, because
his brother has in common with him.
Yeah, because I grew up 3-hole, 4-hole hitter. I was all power, but in Little League, obviously, Little League to middle school. And then when I got there, he's like, hey, look, like, you're really good, but in those levels, they really don't have a lot of off speed. Like, it's a lot of fastball. Here in high school, when you're batting 7, 8, 9, you're going to get a lot more fastballs. That's where you're going to strive. And when he moved me from that middle of the lineup to, like, the 8-hole, best thing he ever did because I went from batting like a 215 to like a 380. Like
I wish he
in
was
the
my
playoffs.
coach.
Huh?
I said I wish he was my coach.
Yeah,
I could have went from an 013 to like I don't know, like 100.
And I was playing infield my entire time. Puts me in left field. Realized dream scenario for me because how many times you get the ball hit you in left field? Twice. Man, I look like a stud. I tried twice a game, and they're all fly balls.
And you get to
out there.
run after it. You can be point somebody out a little bit.
No, because I felt like I had Mason and I had Anthony, and I felt like they kind of knew, hey, this kind of batter here, it's probably going to go to you. Do you kind of know that a little bit, Brock, when like a hitter comes up and you kind of know how you're going to pitch him? You kind of because Mason would look at me sometimes in left field. And he wouldn't say it, but he'd like tip his cap to me. And I knew, all right, if this kid hits it, it's coming my way because of the way he's pitching. Do you have anything like that with your players? Or how's the chemistry like with you and your players?
So your middle infield guys in college are some of your best friends because you kind of go along with, how they act, but you also get a feel for how, the way we do things here at EU is, we have certain play calls or certain callings where, you pick them up and your shortstop or second baseman will be like, hey, it's me and you. And for example, like you say there's a runner on first base and you got a lefty in the box. Like more than likely the way my pitch arsenal is 9 times out of 10, he's going to be hitting the ball to the shortstop. So, my shortstop's like, hey, man, it's me and you. We're on the same page here. I hope you're ready, basically, and I'm ready to basically support you. So, kind of like you said, that it's crucial to, build a bond with that, but comfortable for a while. Some of the guys in the infield know your tendencies, but they also realize like, hey man, this guy's done this. They communicate to you, and after every out, they kind of come up and talk to you and be like, hey man, we got your back. They're just always positive, just kind of stuff like that, really.
Yeah. And I feel like too that kind of comes in handy whenever, like if I was batting against Mason, I'd be like, hey man, like when you do this, like I know you're about to do like a curveball or a slider or something like that. So when you have that kind of chemistry with like your teammates, they feel like they can come up and tell you, and I feel like that helps and stuff like that. I'm just glad that you kind of got that good transition there. Now a question I want to ask you, kind of growing up, because again I've known you since you're a kid, man, and pitching has been. I mean, not just baseball, but pitching itself has been something this kid has lived and breathed forever. But when I was growing up, some of the local legends like Jake Kretzer, Humpty Hitchens, those Ben Hartsock were people I looked up locally around here. And then when we went to the pros, I was obviously like LeBron and Ken Griffey Jr., kind of the end of his tale. Who were some local legends and then some like pro legends that you looked up to as you were growing up?
So I would say one of the local guys is actually a Paint Valley alum too that I kind of looked up to, but also just, talking to my dad, he kind of grew up with him, would be Jason Stauffer. Stauffer was the man in high school, actually, where we went to, and I kind of learned some things from him growing up. Yeah, and I just kind of, he helped me with some, and I just kind of, started to learn more and more of what my pitch ability would be, and helped me with some of that. And then basically, I was a Lorenzen when he played for the Reds. That man is a freak pitcher. I mean, if you look at the dude, he's just an absolute unit. Like, it was just like, man, like I want to be like him, but I want to be able to do what he does too. And so I just feel like I kind of mimic my game around him a lot, learned some tools from him. I watched some podcasts through what he had to say. He also released an app recently, so I've gone along with some of the things he's been doing on there and through social media as well.
Yeah. Now,
Michael Lorenzen, that was the name they yelled right when Philly as well. He just went to the Phillies.
I didn't hear you ask the question. That's hilarious. Now, you growing up a Reds fan? Is that what you were? Or are you Indians fan? How are you?
Yeah, man, grew up being a Reds fan for sure.
I feel like you kind of have to, like down here, like if you grew up an Indians fan, that's kind of weird. Yeah, I'm the one that grew up a Cubs fan. I was for two. I'm hated by both franchises. I'm in one's division, and I didn't let another one win the World Series after like 60-some odd years. I win 108 though. All right, like come on. Now, Brock, is your goal kind of make it to the minors? I mean, if you're going to ask any three of us, it should be. I feel like that's almost easy peasy for you. Is that your goal, or What are you just trying to enjoy the moment in college?
Yeah, man. I'm trying to take my pitching to level for sure. It's a hard thing to do, but this year being draft eligible, I wouldn't say it puts a lot of pressure on you, but it's also in the back of your mind, like, hey, man, like, you got to do what you got to do this year, and it'll take care of itself. But
I love
it's been
that.
a dream of mine.
I know it might sound simple,
kid,
but just do what you got to do. Some people don't live like some people just try and do a lot of stuff that is out of their control. You know what I mean? And I love when he's just like, man, do what you got to do. Do what you can control. I love that.
Do what you can control, and each time you do something that you control, you get that little pat on the back. People always want these massive goals, and they look so far in advance. I'm like, dude, you got to find those little pats on the back along the way to get to that big one.
Well, Brock, thank you for coming on, man. Honestly, this is hopefully not your last time coming on. We'd love to have you on a lot more. We love what you're doing, man. Now, have you guys started your season, I feel like? When's your next game?
So we actually play UK tomorrow. We have
UK?
UK tomorrow.
All right.
Yes, sir. And then Wednesday they come to us. So it's back-to-back days we play. 2 days in a row.
All right. Well, it's time to tame some Wildcats, fellas.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, Brock, again, I'll put you up there. Minimum top 3 best pitchers that have ever walked through Paint Valley. And you're showing it in college. You're showing everybody what you're about. And, man, it's been awesome to watch. And I want to reiterate what Coach Combs said, man. You won't find another person that bleeds black and gold as much as this kid does. And you deserve everything that's happened to you, man. You're one of the hardest working kids I've ever seen. And I'm putting the stamp on it. If the 2020 season happens, Paint Valley has 2 baseball state titles. I'm telling you, it was an insane team. So, Brock, we really, really hope to have you again on our show here, man.
Hey, guys, thank you for having me, and look forward to it again.
All right, man. Well, hey, go tame those Wildcats. Ladies and gentlemen, the legendary Brock Blanton. Dude, that kid really is a stud.
Oh, we just play UK tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yes!
What?
Let's go, dude. Go down there and just shred them.
It's like you're not saying, hey, we're going to go play OUC Lancaster tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like, no. Like the University of Kentucky.
You'd be like
We're
a
playing,
real one.
We're playing UK at Lexington.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
University of KFC off of Western? That's where I played last night.
I saw a thing today that when KFC opened their first franchise in Japan, they went to put the logo up that says finger licking good, and they accidentally put it up, cut your fingers off. Could you imagine driving by? Did you send me that?
Your fingers off.
Yeah.
No.
I was, dude, what if somebody's like, all right, okay.
They would literally just be like, they are so stupid.
They're like, man,
They are so dumb. Look at them. They literally bring a national franchise over here from America, and you can't even get our damn slogan
hold on.
right.
Hold on. Not just a national franchise, but like Kentucky Fried Chicken is an American staple.
Imagine they eat it and they're like, I mean, it was good.
They didn't have me until I got to the gravy.
Yeah.
Once I
got to the gravy, I knew these
fried
fingers were
chicken,
gone.
okay at best.
Oh, it's okay at best. That's insane. Well, guys, I think we have a pretty good tournament going on around here. Dude, getting nice, loud.
I literally have only got to watch a little bit, and there's some extreme athleticism going on out here.
Well, I think we got a few minutes left for the show. Let's just kind of call this last game here. You guys want to do that?
Yeah.
Cool, because I didn't make a show plan. All right, so let's see. We got legendary Noah Pata here on the left team side. Oh, I think this is a Southeastern team we got over here. Okay. Oh, so
if you're trying to read the shirt, they say, our balls, your face. That's what it says on the shirt.
All right, so Southeastern's team with the serve. Oh, and that's an ace there for Southeastern. That is Cheadle, Gage Cheadle, NFL as in SVC. I don't know why I said NFL, superstar. All right, Cheadle with the serve. Potter, oh! Just missed. Fisher with some good defense.
Did you guys see that 360-pound lineman that ran that 100-meter dash?
Dude, was it not insane?
Yes.
That 360 pounds should not move.
Do you know who I immediately looked up to compare times? Cole Miller. I was like, let's look at Cole's numbers. I was like, let's see how good that is. I swear to God, so I Googled Cole Miller's numbers.
Okay, now, do you guys see where Tom Brady reran his 40, and it's faster than when he ran it when he was 20?
Yeah.
I don't understand that.
Avocados and cashews.
Avocado, dude.
Did you ever see he won the Super Bowl and it's like the meme him asking Giselle, like, can I please have a cashew now?
What's the deal with avocado ice cream?
I don't know. I've never had it.
I like avocados.
I think that's like something like instead of ice cream, Tom Brady said he did that instead just because it's healthier.
Oh, he's so rich.
Dude, I don't care how healthy it is. I'm not eating avocado.
We've got a Yoon Yoda team coming on.
All right, yep. So we got Yoon Yoda coming, and they're actually going to play the Huntington team. All right. So guys, who we got for this game? I think I have to go to the Huntington team. Got to take the home court advantage.
I don't know anything about volleyball.
What we'll do, look good, feel good kind of deal. This guy's got a couple chains on this time. Another puka shell necklace as well. I'll take this Huntington team over here.
Can't go against the
Now,
chain.
those two chains weighed him down on a play on the last game.
Dude,
I think he uses them to get higher on the serve. It's the whiplash, gets his neck up a little
when
bit.
I was a junior, I went to a 2 Chainz and Lil Wayne concert, and 2 Chainz came out. And I was like, when's 2 Chainz going to come out? And the guy I went with, he said, he's on the stage right now. So that's one of those where you ever hear a rapper, but you never saw a picture of him.
Yeah.
That's what happened to me.
You know he's like 6'3" or something?
Yeah.
He's huge.
He did not, I thought he was Wiz Khalifa at first. He came out, no shirt on, tattoos everywhere, gold chain. I'm like, what up, Wiz? Nah, Wiz.
Side note as well, I was at the concert. Drake tore his ACL and had to leave the stage halfway through.
I was at the concert that Lil Wayne and T.I. had, and then like T.I. got like a car wreck or shot up or something on the bridge in Cincinnati. I know, car wreck. Speaking of which, Adam drove the bridge that semi fell off the bridge the other day. Isn't that right?
Yeah, 2nd Street Bridge leaving Louisville going into Indiana. That's how I used to.
So was he stupid? Like what happened? Or you're sitting there being like, oh, that should have happened, or
she was stupid.
Do you feel like that bridge sucks? Like, give us an update on the bridge.
The
itself.
bridge is very tight. If you're in either any lane, you're like, oh, this is awful. But my thing is like, right side went off left side, like crossed the lane and traffic.
Good serve.
Go off.
Here we go.
Good
Huntington
save.
gets it across the net. Oh, point to the Huntsman.
That's called a behind the back no looker.
We're gonna have to make, dude. We need to go to a Columbus Fury game. I've been watching them. It's intense. Like I was talking with Jackie earlier. Like it's sold out.
It's intense.
Yeah.
You think that they would get a stadium?
Yeah. Like I think nationwide is gonna have to. I thought I was going for the kid. I thought I was going right there for that kid.
It almost got the kid maker there for a second.
Too strong for that serve.
I will say, if you look at the second court over there, team on the right with the headband and stuff are very energetic. These
one kid's wearing like a whole ski mask with a. Coach Combs would not approve of a lot of these outfits.
I think he's going
That's
for
all
a
I gotta
Pooh
say.
Shiesty whip.
So we had a
again,
legendary
it is the chains
Spike
that
getting
are weighing
round
him
up there and just decided to miss. He decided to miss. He didn't miss on accident. He actually chose not to hit it there. All right, so here we go. Yoon Yoda with the serve. Nice recover. Don't know what happened there.
Dive for the century. Oh,
So close.
he dug, just not deep enough.
All right, Sonny, so I'm going to ask you, would you rather be in quicksand or would you rather be in, like, mud that you sink while you're in it? It's basically like quicksand.
Like, the mud seems insurmountable. The sand seems like people have done it before. You know what I mean?
feel like
Mud, like a truck can't even get out of without
Yeah.
help. Whereas the sand, you can do
All
like,
right, breaking news for the show.
Oh, God.
You said this was the last game, right? Yeah. They haven't even started the tournament, Clay. This is the seeding that has been happening.
Oh, we're
behind.
still leaving at 8.
Oh, yeah.
The seeding has been happening behind us. No, I was just
we're here
letting
for
you
the
know.
podcast
Like,
and to spread and get all the wonderful funds we can get for this upcoming season for the Huntington girls. And honestly speaking, I love it. Like, way to throw something to get the money together to then build team bonding things. Look at the Union girls. They just said Cedar Point and all these things help change and build unity.
Well, and it's
that's
like
the stuff
your
you
team-
have to do in mile an hour
Did you
snacker.
see that? I think he put a dent in the bleachers. That was insane.
I'm not allowed to get that.
that was
hype, though.
technically a point for the other team, though, right?
Yeah, that's the sad part, man.
I just yelled. I feel like I distracted the player.
Oh, yeah,
But
we
if the tournament hasn't started, we're allowed.
I think it's a seeding process.
Dude,
I know
they
everybody had
are.
to play everybody once.
There's some good volleyball being played.
Now, I do want to.
2 Chainz!
Nice. Noah Potter. What the kill there?
Not Harry.
Now, not yet. We don't know if he's a wizard.
No, he could be. He could be
Yeah,
Harry
we
Potter.
haven't
He's
talked
dang
to him
near a
about
wizard.
that.
He can pretty much play anything on the football field. He's like sitting there. I was like, what? Where's he at now?
Stud on the basketball court as well.
Yeah.
Now, what I like about Jackie though is what you said, team bonding. It's not just team bonding with the volleyball team, the football team. These kids over here, like these kids could not be on a team. They could just be best pals, and they're like, heck yeah, man, let's go. Like again, you're in high school, make some memories. Well, another thing is like where I was talking to Coach Kalo, and Adina was hosting this for a long time, and I feel like they just decided not to do it anymore. And Jackie Kalo decided to pick it right back up, and this is insane.
Dude, this is good
But she
volleyball.
picks it right back up, and it's something that I feel like this community needs because, man, this is fun to watch. You got a crowd here, in there, and every freaking where.
I will say this: that last point should not have counted because you went over the net.
I like style points.
Oh!
Gee, mama, that guy's got a college scholarship.
Now, this is the last show, ladies and gentlemen, before the Ride the Wave benefit concert this Saturday, noon to 9. All proceeds going again to Addison Edgerton. And boy, do we have a lineup for you. Lori Graves is going to be emceeing with Mackenzie Rudinger and one more comedy act coming on. Then we have some amazing music. We got Peach Jam opening up with Garage. Oh, now does that count for a bucket if it goes in as well? Basket interference in a different kind of way. But we got Peach Jam opening it up. We got Garage Fire coming on after that. Lori Pritchard live coming up. Then we got Stateside Red and Moose Miller closing it out. Guys, I'm pumped.
Dude, like what I really like is I've never
Diving effort with the hustle. You don't deserve that point.
I've never seen anything where it's like, you've seen the bands, you see music events and things like that. Having comedy in between,
Yeah.
like, I don't know, I just like it. You know what I mean? There's like no setup, like where stuff's getting set up or anything. It's just like, hey, you want to chill for a second? You want to chill with the music? Do a little silent auction? Listen to some comedy.
Dude. Well, once we figure out how to run the silent auction, it's going to be awesome.
We have the stuff for it, and like you can definitely just buy the stuff.
We should do it
for
like
stuff.
a silent library type thing. Every time somebody talks, we just like,
$20, give it to me. No, but we will have a silent auction. Bunch of signed Dick Vitale stuff. Breaking news as of today, we're going to have some Ohio State memorabilia there on sale. Can't tell you what it is because the person giving it wants it to be a surprise to me. So, great advertisement.
Who's giving it?
Huh?
Who's giving it?
Matt Hoops decided to pull some connections with the people he knows up at Ohio State.
Great looking guy.
Yeah, great looking guy, great hearted guy.
I had a chance to meet his mom.
Matt Hoops?
The greatest.
Matt Hoops' mom?
Yeah.
She's amazing. I thought we met her a couple of times.
So
you might not have been there.
I never got to meet her because I was only there on the game days and things. And she, again, I usually showed up right on time, yada, yada, yada. But that being said, one of the greatest women I ever met in my life.
She's awesome.
Great conversation.
Yeah.
And honestly, I loved her views on current education. And it wasn't even like, oh, she's old school, da-da-da-da. It's spot on where I would want my son to go.
Hey, Ben Hartsock talks the way he talks because of one woman.
Yeah.
Mrs. Hoops. So, again, we'll have that. Free oil changes, free back massages. We are going to have food from Christopher Cologne and from, I don't want to say their name wrong. Is it Anchorship House? Or is
Bistro.
Bistro. Okay. Anchorship House Bistro is going to be there. We will have cornhole and some mini side games there, but is calling for rain, so that will be kind of on the fly because that will be outside. So
if you haven't been to Creekside Occasions, amazing place.
Man.
Good time to check it out and not have to have a wedding there.
It is beautiful. It is beautiful.
Which you can have weddings there too. If you need them. I'm just
so
saying.
Again, and again, for a great cause. All proceeds are going to Addison. And man, she's a fighter. I don't know if you guys have been following along on her mom's social media, but like every single day, she's like 2 days ahead of her goals.
Yeah.
And it's insane to watch. A true fighter. Actually made first team all. I think MOC Mid Ohio Conference is the conference that they're in. Didn't play like probably over half the year. It was so good that she still got on first team. And like what I read was like this wasn't like a honorable. You got in a car wreck and we're putting you on first team. It's like no, like you didn't play half a year and we're still first team. That has to tell you something about her work ethic and skill.
Well, dude, I don't think people understand how hard it is to get out of bed. Like, seeing a lot of these surgeries and stuff like that she went through, and I see a lot of them in every day, and I try to get some of these people out of bed. If you don't have 100% drive, they don't get up.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to get up out of bed sometimes.
Yeah, and I have full working body other than being a fat ass. So
I am fat enough to.
oh man.
But no, it's going to be a great event, great calls. I'm just interested to like see how it goes because it's kind of like a first of its type. I don't know. I've never seen anything.
Yeah,
like
so
it.
I wasn't expecting anybody until like I got some good vibes when I went downtown to hang up posters. And like between each poster being hung up, they're like, "Hey, when is the? Hey, we're going to the. Hey, I saw the Giovanni's." I'm like, "You did? Awesome." But really,
yeah, I'm curious if there's going to be a second one for some random event like really close right after ours or something like just almost like a complete knockoff of what we did.
Is that happening?
Like right after.
I don't know. I've seen a few things like that happening.
Yeah, it's from the same organization too.
Yeah,
they just
so
keep putting out stuff like almost similar to ours.
Like right after.
I did it,
but a week later.
Right
It's
after.
like weird.
It's weird.
But really got to give a shout out to Creekside, dude. I mean,
you have an occasion and you want it Creekside.
That's the place to go. Yeah. Todd Snowden.
Dude, I'm telling you, if you've seen dope wedding photos recently, I bet they're in the
Creekside
show of they're there. The way there's
dude,
like the way it's set up, there's restaurants. It literally looks like on the. Like
so I got the privilege of.
Taste of the
I was hanging out with JT one day, and his dad Todd is the one that owns it. Calls JT up and says, "Hey, I need you to help me move a washer and dryer just out of his truck into his barn." And so JT was like with me. He's like, "Hey, do you care to help me out?" I was like, "Yeah, no problem." Like I go out there, it was at Creekside actually. So we took the stuff out, we put it in the barn. Now I go out there, and that barn looks like that.
Yeah.
You know what I
It's
mean?
crazy, man.
Like it's insane
It's
to like
gorgeous
see
in there.
where they started and where they're at now. And every time I talk to Todd, I'm like, dude, I feel like every time I come out here, this place gets even more beautiful. He goes, "Oh, buddy, we're not even close to being done." I'm like, "That's scary."
You know, it's just ideas.
Yeah.
You get one thing done, and you're like, wow, that's really good. Imagine this.
Yeah. So one thing that we're
Oh, a nice soft, touchy.
somebody came in with a sucker move there. I don't know if that's
can't do
illegal. You can't do that.
Not allowed.
We'll have a bar there. We'll have a bar. So if you guys are wondering about that, yes, there will be one there. I just can't wait, man. It's going to be a good time. I'm actually excited to see some of these stand-up comedians because I haven't got to see Mackenzie. The other one I know so well that I keep forgetting the name, so I'm sure I can't wait for them. And if Lori Graves is booking them, you know they got to be good. Oh, Mr. McDonald in the house. What up, my man? Best player on Huntington's roster, I think. That kid literally was this close to a dunk in that junior high game. That lob, insane.
Junior high Dunkaroos.
Insane. All right, guys, so we're going to go trip down memory lane. Adam, I'm going to start with you. Football and basketball. What was one of your favorite games to call this year?
To college?
No, what we called football and basketball. What was one of your favorite games you called this year, and why? With us on Ride the Way. I can start if you want some more time to think.
I can go too.
Honestly, can it be with one that's like not one that I didn't necessarily call, but we definitely covered. We live streamed it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be, and it's not for the reason you guys think. It's because it was a triple overtime game.
The Vinton County McLean game, yeah.
Like that was just crazy because McLean was doing like. They were notoriously just not the best this year. I don't want to say
they won like 2 or 3
Yeah, I don't want to say they were awful, but I mean, they didn't do the best this year. And Vinton County did pretty decent regular season-wise. And just that game being so – it was a 20-point deficit. Like,
yeah, that's what I was saying. The comeback was wild.
Yeah.
20-point comeback.
My foot would have been in my mouth for almost the whole game if I would have been calling that one. So that's probably my favorite one. Now, I was literally just thinking about it today. Favorite football game that we called was the magical moment that we got it all started was that first Paint Valley game.
I was thinking the same thing, man.
On the field. This was remnant of it having the field behind us, dude.
And they did get a live stream because no internet.
Yeah, it wasn't live, but I mean, it was
awesome.
It was just so, it was like the nerves, the first time we were doing it, being brand new to it. Oh, dude, I loved it. It was
now,
the greatest,
Tony,
one of the greatest experiences.
Before I get to you, we got to give thank you, Coach Carp. Thank you, Coach Carp.
Appreciate you, Coach Carver.
For coming. You. Coach Carp has left Vinton County and is now the head coach at Zanesville. Adam, before I ask you what you thought of Coach Carp's time there, let's give him a moment of silence for the Vinton County program. Moment has passed. Adam, What are your words for Coach Carp as he leaves the Vinton County?
I reached out to him, and I just told him, I was really grateful for the amount of work he put into the community that I grew up in. I was glad that he was able to be, he gave me winning football in Vinton County.
Yeah.
It's the only time in school history that we won both TVC in football and basketball. He molded some great people. I love what he did. Wishing him nothing but the best.
Yeah, I don't think Zanesville's the last stop. I don't think high school football is the last stop. I think that guy's going to be coaching college football somewhere I don't know if it'll be D1, but it's going to be something. I think it should be D1. I think he has the heart, the dedication, and the drive.
And he's got to know how. Like we were talking before, we didn't know this going into his interview because we're such good journalists.
Yeah.
I learned that after he had left Vinton County, but he led the whole entire state of West Virginia his senior year in football for interceptions. Dude was a defensive back. He was a defensive machine,
and I feel like why you see a lot of coaches not make it as a head coach is it's not because I feel like a lot of coaches have the know-how. It takes a lot of hard work. You're gonna have to do a lot of bitch work.
And it's the relationship building too.
Exactly.
You got. Like we hear Coach Shu talk about it so much. You got to let these kids know that you care about them, so that way you can be as real as possible with them.
Yeah, and when you're scheduling weightlifting months in advance, so that they can know, so that they can be there. That's you showing them that you care and them seeing you.
Not even just that. Like, he did so much stuff. Like, I'm pretty sure they did food drives.
Yeah.
They did all kinds of stuff in the community outside of football where they didn't have any pads on to build a bunch of, rapport with the community, team bond, and kind of, just learn each other.
I'll say one thing, and it's only because I had a conversation with somebody from the Vinton County community, and they brought this up, and we had a great conversation afterwards as well. I don't care. I'll say, being an African-American in the Vinton County community and coming from here as an almost outsider to come in and not only be successful, prove yourself,
possibly
and then be loved in that
one
same
of the most
community.
Successful. I don't know a whole lot of the history.
To me, I know he didn't think about it that way or anything like that, but this person saw it that way.
Yeah.
And that was amazing to me. Now, that being said, it's just the dead honest truth. Like, if you're picking counties around this area, that might be one of the most
Vinton County, knowing what those people are, That was big time. I was super happy that he came in and was doing.
And not only that, probably had better moral compass than most of the people in the state of Ohio.
Yeah.
That dude, what he was teaching those young men was unreal. And I talked to so many.
They learn
patients,
more on the football
so
field probably than they learn in the classroom. And that's nothing against the teachers.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
1,000%.
Now, Tony, I'm going to go to you. What was one of your favorite games that we called or covered this year for a Ride the Wave show?
It's definitely Westfall. It's it wasn't even that great of a game.
The Westfall Piketon.
Yes.
That's definitely my top 5.
It was senior night, and the vibes there were
the ref left the field.
Dude, the fans, because when it's that cold out, the fans are just ripe.
Yeah.
And it was you're combining with the fact that you had a star Bryce Whitlock played his last game and different things like that. It was really, really good vibes, and then you had to put the icing on the cake with the announcer, best announcer in the entire game.
That one it's also up there for me. I wasn't at it
because you were watching.
I was at Vinton County. I literally Derek and I got done with our games because he was at Uniota Southeastern. I was at Vinton County.
Nelsonville, I think.
It was Wellston. It was next week. It was Vinton County, Wellston.
It was who?
Oh, we beat them. So
the W school?
Yeah, I can say it. We beat them.
Okay.
Wellston took a loss. I'll say their name when I'm talking about losing. 100%. They lost.
Yeah. Now,
freezing our butts off trying to make makeshift things to cover the camera so we didn't get in trouble.
I literally turned it on and the ref was leaving the stadium. And I was like, what is going on?
And then they come back on the golf cart everybody's like,
not to mention, before we got the tarp, we're standing over Sydney like this. Yeah. Sydney, we're not going to get rain on you. She's like, cover the camera. It was insane. Once again, Derek, it wasn't raining there.
And we did get a tarp.
It wasn't raining, Derek.
By the end of it, they had their own little cubby tarp. They were there with hot chocolates that were brought up. I don't know.
I remember opening the tarp and they're under there. Dude, the cup of noodles. Yes. Oh, that was delicious.
You're talking about the cameras?
Yeah, the cameras under tarps. Yeah, the cameras 100% under tarps.
No, it was my jacket. I literally had to get I put the jacket on Andy's forehead and then draped it on his head, the hood part.
Oh,
and draped
man.
it
I wish people could see behind the scenes.
But I don't know. It was just.
What I have to go with number one game for me that we've covered has to be Unio Zane Trace basketball. Just because, kind of looking at Zane Trace at the end of the year, that was a huge upset. They were in first place for most of the year, but think we can all kind of say they
outside
weren't.
of conference.
Which
they
one was it? I
were
apologize.
One of the worst records.
Which one was it?
The Uniota Zane Trace first basketball game that we covered, because, like you said, out of conference, I don't think they won a game.
Yeah.
Maybe one.
At that point, they were like they hadn't won a game all season.
No.
I think they were 0-2.
Yeah,
and Uniota was their first win.
And the way they did, they didn't lead till the end. They came back. It was electric.
They kind of kept it close. I remember you saying, like, hey, a team like Zane Trace, you can't really let it hang around because, like, the more they hang
once
around,
a team
the more
thinks
they
that they can
win
play with you and it gets to crunch time,
it.
they're not going to be the team that crunches.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, when you're the team that has nothing to lose, you play like that. So,
Is it okay if I tap out?
oh yeah, no, we're about to wrap up.
That's a textbook, buddy. I was going to take me 4 hours to read that.
I can't read. So, ladies and gentlemen, we want to again thank Huntington for letting us do our first on-site podcast, guys. We did it. We did it. Also, we want to first apologize to Jake and Brock. Couldn't really hear.
I really couldn't hear.
I had
anything.
no idea what they were saying, and that's just because these people are amazing. They're loud.
Yeah,
they're energetic.
away.
So we got to give you the preview. The tournament is about to start, and we were like, man, can't give that away for free. Got to come
Shout
and watch
Young
it
Quincy
yourself.
as well. Thanks for coming on.
Young
if
Quincy,
you missed Young Quincy, go
we
back
will
and
definitely
find
be
him.
hearing from him here soon. And again, this Saturday, noon to 9, make sure you're at Creekside Occasion for the Ride the Wave benefit concert for Addison Edgington. Guys, any last words before we get out of here?
If you're not at this benefit concert, you're gonna rue it. Like, you're gonna be like, man, I wish I was there, because everybody's
wish I
gonna
was
be
at
talking about
Woodstock.
it. They're gonna be, hey, I was there.
Yeah.
I saw Moose Miller before he blew up.
Yeah.
I saw Lori Graves. I laughed my ass off. I bought some stuff. I got a Dick Vitale basketball.
Coach
I
Shu
mean, you're
said
gonna
it.
miss
This is going to be like when Taylor Swift played at OUC before she got big with Moose Miller. This and the Majestic are going to be the two events that you're talking about Moose Miller-wise.
And in,
Tony?
like, I guess a meaner version, that was it. You're a piece of crap. If you don't have to show up, you can still donate. You can find other ways to do it. I think you're still a piece of crap for not showing up and enjoying your time for a good cause. But I'll guilt trip you. People will be like, you're really going to make people feel bad? Maybe they're short on cash or something.
You should feel bad if you don't
I'm short
show
on
up.
cares because I don't care. Get out and get
you're
it
like,
to the
oh, hey.
100% of the money. We're not getting anything out of it. It's not for us. 100%. Go give it to a good
And if
cause.
you're like, hey, never carry cash on me, what am I going to do? Well, we got to figure out, bud. We got a Venmo. So you can still pay
Or
with
you can
cards.
stop being lazy and you can get yourself to the ATM and you can press a few buttons and you get some damn money out.
So basically, please come. We're not trying to dog on you. And don't be the person that we're dogging on right now.
Yeah, don't be that guy.
So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for tuning in. Jake, Brock, what an amazing interview. And we will see all of you this Saturday at Creekside Occasion.
Or we will
Peace
find
out,
you.
Girl Scout.